Bacchanal wine was created in 2002 by Chris Rudge and Judy Bolton.
Chef Joaquin Rodas and I joined as partners years later. Chris passed away in the spring of 2015, and this was his second line Sunday. The following film is dedicated to him. To those of you who know me, thanks for sticking around. To those of you who don't, welcome to Valhalla. I owe y'all my soul, and I'll exchange it for yours. Your time is coming, and you'll never escape me, so submit and relax into the bliss. Don't incur the wrath of God, just worship grapes and learn, so you can become your own gods. If food is the body of good living, wine is its soul. Cheers. Chris.
Looking back on everything we've been through, we realized that the story of our success is one of the most unlikely in all of New Orleans because we did everything technically wrong. We led with our hearts. We did what felt right. With Chris Rudge leading the way, we always sought freedom and opportunity and innovation, even if the law didn't allow it at the time. But due to a lot of love, a lot of luck, and just a lot of hard work and passion, we managed to make it. And by the summer of 2014, we could look back over our story and realize that we had evolved into a stable and awesome business. We had a team we could trust. We had people that were working hard to further improve everything that we did. And we realized that it was time to head out to California and enjoy the fruits of our labor and blend our first wine. And that's what started the Bacchanal Blend.
So we got on that jet plane and we headed out west, out to Cali, out to wine country. Me, Chris, and Joaquin, the three amigos. After all these years of struggle, all the hard-fought battles won, we hadn't had much fun together outside of work. Maybe the occasional dinner, or of course the late night, after work, after hours drinks and memes, which were mostly decompression and strategy sessions. We just hadn't had much fun. We hadn't explored that territory together. This was brand new. And boy, did we pick the right territory to explore fun. California in the summertime, and in particular, this magical small town called Healdsburg, California.
Chris had taken care of all the details of this trip, all the arrangements. We had no idea what we were in store for, Joaquin and I. But then we pulled into our lodgings for the week. Oh my God, Chateau Healdsburg. It was a palace. We were going to be living large and in charge. So there we were, stretched out on a rooftop in the middle of wine country, sipping wine, talking about ideas, talking about the future, really enjoying each other's company at leisure, maybe for the first time ever. But the real joy was just ahead in the small town that surrounded us, because Healdsburg is a small town with big taste. From our first meal at Tapas Bravas to our next meal at Chalkboard, and then every meal after that tasted like the best meal of our lifetimes. It was truly inspiring cuisine in Healdsburg. And the people we met were amazing too. In the tasting rooms, out in the streets, we realized this was small town living without any sacrifices, man. This was Americana at its finest. In the week ahead, we would discover a lot of small towns with big taste, like Geyserville in Sonoma, Boonville in Mendocino, Yountville in Napa. In Yountville, we capped off our food and wine bacchanal at a very special place, a restaurant shrine, Thomas Keller's French Laundry. It's a day we'll never forget, Joaquin and I. A day of pure bliss, that we got to spend with our friend Chris.
Wine country. California in the summertime. Mile after mile of grapes and vines growing beneath those hyper-blue skies. It may not have been the south of France, but it felt like the Holy Land, and we were on a pilgrimage, with Bacchus himself leading the way.
Chris guided us through all the steps of the winemaking process, getting up close to the grapes in the vineyards, the stainless steel fermentation tanks, tasting fresh juice, the vast rooms where the wine ages in oak barrels. We tasted the same grape grown in different soils so we could notice the subtleties of terroir. We got a passionate crash course in winemaking, and when it was over, we were ready to go blend our first wine. Charles Hendricks makes Hope and Grace, Chris's favorite badass California Pinot, and he offered to help us blend our first wine. We started at his tasting room in Napa and worked our way over to Ragusi Winery, a fancy palatial estate in Stag's Leap. We were really intimidated by this fancy place, but Charles took charge, took us by the hand and led us into the wine lab, where we commenced the blending with Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre, Cabernet Sauvignon. We were looking to make the most powerful, feminine wine we could possibly make, and it had to be a little dirty too. We had talked with Charles a year earlier about the kind of blend we wanted to do for our first wine, and we had decided that we wanted to reflect the character of Bacchanal and that it has old world southern French style. It's got the earthiness, the herbiness, it's got nice bright acid, but we also wanted it to reflect the terroir of California, so we wanted some rich dark fruit in there. Well, with those two things in mind, we decided that Syrah was the most likely candidate to be the main ingredient in this blend, and Charles agreed and brought some great Syrah that day. Tasting the Bacchanal blend today, we believe it's a perfect balance of old world and new. It's got the fruit power that you would expect from a California blend, but it's also got those rustic charms of the French countryside that made Chris fall in love with wine to begin with. The label we designed for the Bacchanal blend was a collage of magical moments and meaningful people. A lot of our narrative was in the design, and we were really proud of it, but the feds rejected it because they didn't see the artistic merit. Now, that's a direct quote. That's kind of a head scratcher because you think about California wine labels, there's not a whole lot of artistic merit going on, but whatever. We rolled with the punches. We blacked out the collage for the official label, so it looks kind of like a hostage letter. But with every purchase of the Bacchanal blend, you get the real label, the original design, as a full-size, glorious sticker that you can wrap around the bottle, self-apply, but you will be breaking the law when you do that. But you can do whatever you like with it, but put it on your dorm room wall. But we definitely want you to have the experience of drinking the wine and looking at the stories on the label. After we spread Chris's ashes over the Mississippi that day, we followed the second line back to Bacchanal, where a gathering of friends and family commenced to doing what Chris loved best: drinking good wine, eating good food, listening to great jazz. It was a Sunday to remember, one I don't think any of us will soon forget. It was like one of those Bacchanal Sundays from back in the day, like right after Katrina, when you would go into that backyard and you knew everybody, everybody knew you. It was a who's who of all these people that made the Bywater a great community, and just, we hadn't seen a lot of those faces in a while, so it was really special to see them on that day when we needed them the most.
Chris's spirit lives on here at Bacchanal. It is truly an embodiment of everything that he was. And while it hasn't been easy to carry on without him, we know that as long as this courtyard is full of happy people, sharing food, wine, stories, music, then he is somewhere smiling that crooked smile. All of our musicians came to play that Sunday. It was a full 6 hours of incredible music. A lot of young players who'd gotten their first gig at Bacchanal and who'd nurtured their musical visions here in our garden. The last band of the night was the Roman Jasmine, and they left us with this amazing song of joy and sadness that I think Chris would have appreciated as his coda. I'm going to play it for you in full now as a farewell.
Well, you can fly high, baby, but you come down low. Right back down where you was before. Thought that you loved me, but you had gone wrong. Now you left me and I'm all alone. What can I do? What can I say, pray all day, baby, but why you went away? Don't wanna hurt your feelings, don't wanna cause you pain. All I want is to hear you say that you take me back again. What can I do? What can I say, pray all day, baby, wonder why you went away. can I do? What can I say, say? Pray all day, baby, wonder why you run away. Now I always love you, darling, though you left me sad. All I want for you to remember is all the good times that we had. Ooh, what can I do? What can I say, say? Pray all day, baby, wonder why you went away. Well, tell me, baby, no, baby. Why don't you tell me, baby? Tell me, baby. All right. Thank y'all so much. I think that's going to be our last song for the evening. But appreciate y'all having us out here. Glad to be here for it. So we'll be back next Sunday. We'll see y'all then too. All right.